Hi everyone, my name is Maddie Packard, and I'm going to be presenting a TED Talk by Jonathan Rossiter called A Robot That Eats Pollution. So, a little bit about Jonathan. He's an engineer and is a professor of robotics at the University of Bristol. So, he researches what are called soft robotics, which are robots and machines that go beyond conventional rigid and motorized technologies into the world of smart materials. So he wants to create robots that are safe for human interaction within the body and the environment. They can be used to deliver new healthcare treatments, wearable and assistive devices such as what he wants to call smart trousers to help the older generation hopefully stay mobile longer. So Jonathan wants to create robots that do not look like us. He takes inspiration from natural biological organisms, such as what I have shown in the corner, frogs, snakes, and even jellyfish. These current organisms live, eat, breathe, and die. Our current robots don't do that. Instead, they look humanoid in structure and are made of harsh materials like plastic and metal. So his goal is to put these characteristics into our future robots to hopefully solve problems within our environment. So some environmental problems that he spoke about was, the main one was oil pollution. And the main problems that he also spoke with were just about man interacting with the environment. Tons and tons of oil is being released into the sea every single day by the engines that we use in our boats, and even tankers flush out their oil tanks into our sea. So Jonathan wants to create a robot that actually eats the pollution. So what he came up with and created what is called a robot. And by combining these two organisms, the basking shark and the water boatman, he wants to do just this. So a little bit about the basking shark is what you see on the far left, is a massive shark that is non-carnivorous. So you can swim with it, and it actually opens its mouth, collecting plankton, closes its mouth, digests the food, and then uses that energy to keep moving throughout the sea. Now, on the other hand, the water boatman is just a real cute little animal insect that uses paddle-like legs to push itself forward on the water. So he wants to combine these two to sit on top of the water and use the energy from the pollution to move forward. So now this is an actual picture of what he invented, the robot. So it's made out of plastic and it's very light. So it sits on top of the water and has paddles to move through the water easily. And he also has a mouth and a stomach. So now the stomach will create the energy. So it has a cell in the middle called a microbial fuel cell, and it actually takes the energy in the form of pollution and it generates to come out as electricity. So oxygen comes in on one side and the other side takes a certain type of microbes that will eat the pollution and generate the electricity. So now a little bit about the robot feeding process. So what the robot is going to do, it's going to open its mouth, it's going to roll a little forward, close its mouth, and using that form of pollution that goes in will then go into the robot's stomach. From the robot's stomach, it's going to use those microbes to digest the food and generate the energy and electricity, and it's going to start all over. Now, this process, because it's so small, could possibly take days or even weeks to complete itself. So his goal is that hopefully there will be enough energy left over that it can send a message. And with this message, hopefully it will be able to send how much it has consumed, what type of pollution is out there, and what it's encountered. and even where it is in the sea. So what he wants to eventually do is make this robot be biodegradable. And since it's not yet, when the robot tells you where it is within the sea, you'll have to go retrieve it. And due to the fact that it has metal, batteries, plastic, and so on, is not very good for it to be out in the sea, and it's very bad for the environment. So he wants to create a robot that's biodegradable that you can then build thousands of them at a time, put them out into the sea, and not have to worry about a single one of them or retrieving them. And you can just let them die off just like any regular organism does. And you can just allow it to simply decompose within the sea. So shockingly, he mentioned that you can use household products to create a robot. Instead of a motor, you can actually make what are called artificial muscles, and they are smart materials when adding electricity to make them contract, bend, or twist, just like real life muscles that we have on our own body. So Jonathan actually mentioned within his presentation that you can create the robot out of even something as simple as jelly, which can be used as the muscle with a little help of some other materials, this and that, and the electricity. And then you can also create the stomach in the microbial fuel cell simply out of paper, which I think is just absolutely amazing. So now for the future, he wants to eventually make products out of, or make these robots out of household products. And he went up with the solution, why not make it out of gummy bears in, per se, the medical field? So you would take a small gummy bear and digest it. So it would move, think, twist, bend, and go down into your intestines to possibly find potential life-threatening medical issues such as stomach ulcers or even cancer. And he talked about that it could even also release different injections for possible different medical treatments and then properly be consumed by your stomach naturally. So now the questions that I had were, do you think these robots could have potential to help eliminate climate change? How long will it take for these robots to evolve to look identical to other living organisms? And finally, what would happen if robots malfunctioned while using it in a medical setting while inside the human body? So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation on how robots could eat pollution and hopefully save the world one day.